Coach, when you came to town, was Meyers' kind of mind pretty much made up?
Well, you'd have to ask Meyers that. One thing I'll say about the decision was that he kept me involved in the process at a high level, which I really appreciate. You know, to him, I was an outsider. I hadn't coached him. I just got here, and we had a great conversation within 24 hours of getting the job, and I had a chance to talk with his mother. I had a chance to talk with the people that are important to him, that support him as well, and be involved in the process and the decision. I told him that, hey, I'm here for you, and I want you to do what makes you happy. We also gathered information. I thought that was important in order to educate him on what was the best thing in terms of the draft. And after doing all that and putting all that together, I feel very comfortable with the decision that he's made. And although I only coached him for I teased him, I said about 4 days or whatever that was, I've enjoyed getting to know him. And as I said to him, hey, you played at Illinois. You're always going to be an Illini guy, and we're going to do everything we can to help you get ready for the draft and do the best you can moving forward. He's a part of our family, and that will never change.
Will he stay here and work out with the team, before he takes off to do his other stuff? Or?
Well, a lot of that will be up to Meyers and the people that represent him. We want to be sensitive to that, but I know he's been working out here in the mornings with the staff, and they tell me he's doing a great job. I told him I don't want to hear that, but no, he's obviously. I mean, this is he's like I said, he's a part of the family. We want him to take advantage of all that we have here to offer him. Our staff's willing to help him and assist him, but some of those decisions will be made by his representation at the appropriate time.
One guy that you're going to not have working with Meyers soon is Jimmy Price. Do you know who's going to fill that void?
I don't. I'm one of those guys. I really take seriously who's on the bus. I call it who's on the bus, and obviously Jimmy has done a great job here during his time. I've enjoyed getting to know him as well in a very short period of time, but it's also an exciting opportunity for us to hire someone and bring someone in that fits what we're looking for, that's going to do a great job of treating our guys the right way, but also of developing them. I think the one thing, if you've heard me say loud and clear over the last week to 10 days, if you've followed the media, is the fact of how important the development piece is. Obviously, the recruiting piece is huge. That certainly drives the results as much or more than anything, but once you get them, you got to develop them. And so that position's critical because NCAA rules, quite honestly, allow him to be around our guys, certainly in the off-season periods, more than an assistant coach can be. So, we'll take our time and do our due diligence. At the same time, I'd like to get somebody in here. We'll be aggressively patient, let's put it that way, as quickly as possible, because once school's out and we start the summer school phase, I would like to have, in a perfect world, someone in place that can start training and developing our players.
Receptive to you recruiting Illinois? You've been excited about the reaction so far?
Well, you're right. I can't comment. All I can comment is that who we're recruiting or not recruiting, but the reception's been terrific. I still got some more calls I'd like to keep chipping away at, and have had some phone tag going on or text tag going on with some coaches and different things. But we're going to continue to work to develop those relationships. We've got some, as I've mentioned, that are pre-existing, and we're going to continue to cultivate those. So it's been exciting. I think the response has been really good, and we still got a lot of work to do.
Can you talk about the new additions to the staff and also where you're at with that third?
Sure. I've hired Dustin Ford, obviously, and Jamal Walker. Both those guys came with me from Ohio. I feel very blessed to have them. They were a big part of what we did at Ohio and building that program there. I think the strengths of both those guys, to be honest with you, is they're smorgasbord guys. I can give them anything from recruiting to scouting to coaching to player development, and they're going to excel in all those areas. So that's a real advantage for us. Obviously Jamal, you put him in Champaign, Illinois, where he, grew up in Wichita and has ties in Kansas City and played college basketball in St. Louis and has recruited Chicago heavily and Indiana, and it's like sticking him from a recruiting perspective in an ideal spot. And then obviously Dustin has a lot of contacts as well, which I like outside those areas I just mentioned that Jamal has, which gives us some versatility. Dustin's done a great job working with our post players over the last 3 to 4 years. The development of those kids as people and student athletes was off the charts. And Jamal's done the same thing with our perimeter players. So I feel very good that both of them are here with me. Obviously, they offer some continuity and stability in terms of how we want to do things culturally, both on and off the court, and that's a real advantage as well.
About that third spot, any update on?
Well, it's been a difficult decision. It's hard. I've had 2 or 3 routes that I could go. I have made the decision that I'm going to hire outside. A lot of people have asked me a lot of questions about Gerrans Howard, obviously, over the last week, and I certainly considered him very, very strongly. His work speaks for itself. He's done a great job coaching, recruiting. He obviously is a former player. This place means a lot to him. That was obvious from the 3 conversations that he and I had together as we sat down and talked. At the end of the day, for me, it was about starting with a clean slate. It was. And, I know that Gerrans is going to be successful no matter who he's working for or where he goes. And obviously, as a part of the Illini family, we're going to support him as much as we can during this time of transition for him and his family. We were that comprehensive. Anything else, guys? We sure appreciate you being here. Thank you.